Welcome to Transitions, the show that will help you to transition through life. I'm your host, Emily Pierce, and I am joined by my awesome co-host, Chris Powell.
Yay!
Today, we are talking with Dr. Judy Seegar, who practices alternative medicine and is a naturopath. You're going to want to stay tuned until the end because Dr. Seegar has given all of our listeners a free gift today. Woo! As always, please like and follow Transitions on Instagram and Facebook at Transitions Podcast Show. You can always shoot us an email at transitionspodcast7@gmail.com or visit our webpage and subscribe to get updates at transitionspodcast7.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Our guest today, as I said, is Dr. Judy Seegar. She has practiced alternative medicine for over 30 years as a naturopath and ran 2 holistic health clinics specializing in using ozone therapy and detoxing for diseases like cancer, Lyme disease, and many chronic conditions. Dr. Seegar started out with many health challenges at an early age, and after seeing 4 family members die of stomach cancer, decided to go a different path. After studying with world-renowned healers like Dr. John Christopher and Dr. Bernard Jensen, she went on to becoming a naturopath and to heal herself of all her ailments. Now, at 63, she wants to impart her skills and knowledge to those who realize that supplements alone are not enough. She created her accelerated healing program where many of her clients see results in as little as 1 week using her 3R method. Welcome, Dr. Seegar.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be on this show. It's going to be so much fun.
Yes. So we're very excited to have you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so thank you for the intro. Yeah, that's exactly what I've had. I became a naturopath after seeing family members dying of cancer left and right and stomach cancer, which is a very painful cancer. And I went a different route. I said, you know what, there's got to be something else out there. So I became a vegetarian in my 20s. And that helped a little bit, but I was still sick for many, many years and got tired and chronic fatigue and gallstones, kidney stones, almost had a heart attack, almost died in accidents. Wow. I've had so many things happen to me. And then in 2010, I got Lyme disease and I'm like, oh, that's got to go. And then I got frozen shoulders in 2018. I says, that's got to go. So I have, if someone who's in alternative medicine and claims they know how to heal on some level, they need to be walking the walk, right? And that's me. I figure out what is happening and then I fix it for myself. And then I teach it to my people because I don't want anybody to be in pain. So that's what I do. And I love doing it. I love helping people. And anything I could do to share that knowledge, I'm a wide open book.
Well, I'm sure our listeners are going to want to know what you did along the path to actually help heal yourself.
Yeah, so a lot of different things. So changing the food, the diet is one thing. That's kind of like the foundational that everybody needs to look at and understand that, you know what, you got to look at the food, right? However, I'm not into like everybody has to be a vegan or a vegetarian or a paleo, keto, Mediterranean. My goodness, it's a long list. There are different, that's why I love this show because here you are, Emily, this young sprout, and then we got Chris, the wonderful mature sprout. And that's exactly right. In your younger years, you could have a certain type of diet and you'll be fine. But as you grow older and your joints start to have problems, you get chronic fatigue, hormones are a big issue. You gotta adapt and change your diet as you go through different seasons in life. That's been my experience. I don't believe in doing it all one way, just because I deal a lot with people with cancer and I've learn that, hey, you can't just do vegetarian for everybody, all types of cancer. It does not work. You really got to change things up. So diet is one thing. Supplements and all that. I'm not a big supplement taker. I don't see the efficacy of being on certain supplements all the time because in my clinic, I would have people come with handfuls of supplements, or
wow.
boxes of supplements and say, which one do I get? They'd be confused. They're very lost, very confused, and they just didn't know. And I said, why don't we really narrow it down to just a few? And they were always so relieved. It was like, oh, I don't have to take so many. Bingo. That's exactly right. I take 5 a day. That's it. And that's my max. I just refuse to go any more than that. But then the other part is therapy. I really love natural therapies. And that could be anything from getting on a mini trampoline for exercise to sweating. Detox baths are wonderful. Hydrotherapy, hot and cold showers, dry skin brushing. Those are really simple, fun. Well, I consider them fun now, but simple things to do. Not everybody. I think Chris would say a hot and cold shower. I don't know about that, but they work because anything to raise the immune system at this point is so important. And then the detox. I've been a detox person since in my 20s, and I'm now 63, right? And I just feel that in different seasons of life, no matter what you're going through, the air that you breathe, the pollution, the water that we drink, the food that we eat, there's just chemicals everywhere. We're not living in a bubble. We can't just say, hey, we're going to live in a bubble and eat organic food and live in a house with no chemicals. It's not possible.
Right.
Really not. So you got to detox once in a while. So that's my jam. I've learned, let's do some detoxing, just a little bit every few months, just 3 days, and just get rid of those excess toxins. And we can get into that later. And then do a little bit of natural therapies as well, like things to increase your immune system, circulation, and all that. That's wonderful. And then I do ozone therapy too, just because that's the one thing that I have found across the board of everything I've ever used in 30 years to be consistent in helping the body's immune system. So simple. Those 3 R's. It's rebuild your immune system through food and exercise and therapies, release the toxins, do that on a regular basis, and rebalance the emotional, mental, spiritual part. That's the winning combo. And I'm living and breathing and telling you, listen, no aches and pains. I'm feeling good. So,
well, even me being young, I could certainly give testimony to the fact that as you get older, your body changes and hormones, come into play. So I can definitely testify to that. So you mentioned Lyme disease. I'm sure a lot of our listeners, have experienced having Lyme disease. And from what I know, it can be a very painful, disease. What did you do to help cure that or deal with the symptoms of Lyme disease?
Yeah, we never say that we cure anything, right?
Yes.
We don't heal it. We don't diagnose it. These are medical disclaimers. I'm just sharing my story, right? And so the thing that everybody has to understand is Lyme disease, it's so insidious. It's like, it's got layers. Those spirochetes get in and cause major damage, everything from fibromyalgia to MS to chronic fatigue, many symptoms. And it's very difficult to diagnose, super hard, right? So Lyme disease, I got it in 2010, even though I was in Wisconsin for 20 years, got bit by ticks almost every day, never ever got Lyme. They have healthy ticks in Wisconsin. So that was a good thing.
Sounds like it.
This sounds like it. I don't know. I came to Florida and I get the first tick that bites me, I get Lyme. Isn't that crazy? I saw the telltale, it's like a bullseye in my groin, and it was like big, and the head was embedded, right? And I'm like, this does not look good. So I have friends, colleagues, and I said, hey, can you guys test me? This is called like a bioresonance machine. And I tried 3 different colleagues who had literally invented these machines. Mm-hmm. There's no 100% diagnostic, so I'm not making any claims here, but each of the colleagues found 3 levels of Lyme. I didn't even know there's 3 levels. I'm like, good to bad to worse. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. So I knew what was coming down the pipe. So I'm like, well, what do I do? I didn't really know. I just knew hyperbaric oxygen at that time and detoxing, and that was about it. And they said, oh, do ozone, you'll be fine. What? What's ozone? So I had to know. 2010 is when I learned about ozone, even though it's been around for 150 years. I was like, ozone, okay. Went in the sauna, felt like $1 million. I went consistently, felt so good. And it took about a year to really clear me up, but I was consistent, got my own unit, was doing it every day. And I was like, wow, this is great. I'm feeling good. Plus I'm going to put it in my clinic so people could experience the same thing. And they did. So that was exciting. And here I am 10, well, that's 11 years. absolutely zero symptoms of Lyme, right? But I caught it very early. And the second part of that is I detoxed. I detoxed because what happens is ozone will come in and kill pathogens. So it could be spirochetes, bad bacteria, fungus, yeast, mold, all different kinds of things like that, that your body is like, hey, I don't know how to handle this. So you're going to get sick. And the ozone comes in and helps to get rid of it by increasing the immune system because it's just oxygen. Ozone is 3 oxygen atoms bound together, one molecule. So as it comes in the body, it searches and destroys those pathogens and boom. So when I did that, I caught it early and I detoxed. So as the ozone was killing those pathogens, it was released from my body. I didn't have any backlash from it. I didn't get nausea, or they call it Herxheimer.
Right.
Didn't get none of that. And felt fantastic. So I have been trying to get the word out, which is why I'm so grateful to you guys for letting me share this, that ozone therapy with detoxing is a great combo to use for people. Not the panacea for everybody, but man, oh man, it works pretty well for a lot of people.
So thank you for that. Thank you for explaining. So you mentioned ozone. For our listeners that don't know about ozone, can you explain a little bit about what it is?
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's from nature. It's like, it's nature. It's nothing weird or anything. Nikola Tesla figured out that, oh my goodness, this works. And he was the one who made the first ozone generator to use it and get the to help in the surgical units. And it was during World War II that people were getting gangrene, infections. So he created this to help people get the word out and make it sure that people didn't continue with infections, right? But you need a lot of money and get the word out. He didn't have the money. He was a great inventor, and that was about it. It's like, okay, fine. So here's what ozone is, and it's so simple, is as the sun's ultraviolet rays come down, it splits oxygen atoms all day long. That's exactly what it does. So now you have oxygen atoms all floating around in the air, in the atmosphere, right? And as it splits it up, some are going to get together, and that creates O2, which is what? It's oxygen, right?
Yeah.
When it's 3, that becomes ozone, right? And so ozone is such a bad rap. It's like, no. That's the bad. That's the stuff that's from corporations and the pollution and the car pollution. That's not the one from nature. The one from nature is clean oxygen atoms that bind together to make that molecule. So that's so cool because it's just oxygen. So the side effects, now there are literally hundreds of thousands of articles, scientific proof on PubMed, and now 7 countries are using it in their hospitals. In fact, an Italian doctor, we just found out this morning, got an award for using ozone because it's helping many people. We're not going to say what it's helping, but you could guess what it's helping. And it's working because it's just oxygen that is super strong that could go and help kill things that don't belong in your body. Created from nature, though. That's the simplicity of that.
That is amazing. And it sounds like it's going to help a lot of people. We have to take a quick break right now to hear from our sponsor, and we will be right back.
Happy Living here. I love good things made by good people. That's why I love Third Rock Essentials, a company founded by a surfer with a PhD that believes all personal care products should be so safe you can eat them. I drink an ounce of chelated silver oxide supplement every day to strengthen my immune system. Third Rock Essentials has all natural sun care, skin care, and silver supplement products I trust. Check them out at happyliving.com and select Partners in Happy. You'll save 20% off all purchases every time you buy using promo code HAPPYLIVING. Plus, for every order placed during the month of February, I'll donate 20% to WITV7.
Thank you to our sponsor. For those just joining us, we are here with Dr. Judy Seegar, who is a doctor that specializes in alternative medicine and is a naturopath. And so I have some questions for you, Doctor. That on our break we were talking about all sorts of other stuff, chirotherapy and heat and cold and all that. But my question for you: you have the 3R method. What is that exactly?
So the 3Rs is I mentioned that just the words, and we'll go into a little bit deeper on that. The first R, the number one, is to rebuild your immune system. So that could be done in many different ways. That could be done through foods, yes, and having supplements, yes, but it's really about therapy. So the ozone therapy is one way, and break, we're talking about hot and cold therapy. Anything to increase the circulation of the body will build the immune system up. But the number one way, which we're talking also on break, which everybody needs to hear, the number one way to really build up your immune system is to rest more. Yeah, it's not go, 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 go. But, as the US Americans, we're like, go, go, go. We have to put in more. It's kind of like we get our value from that. And I'm European, and it's like, no. You got the afternoon. Go take a little nap time so you could be ready for the evening. It's rest time, more relaxed time, taking it easy on the weekends. Don't be working on the weekend, because here's why. The rest time is when the body rebuilds and repairs itself. Now, the challenge is, and here's a great question for you, Chris, is how well do you sleep?
I sleep pretty good. I mean, I have a Sleep Number bed, and it actually monitors it, and I'm usually up in the 90s.
Wow. So
I'm not doing too bad.
Yeah. And Emily, how well do you sleep?
So I have a Sleep Number bed too, and I don't have as much luck. My sleep is mostly like, it's off and on. I can have a really good night, which would be in the 80s, and then a really like bad night, which is in like the 60s.
Yeah. And so that the damage with that, I mean, thank you that Chris is sleeping well, but here you are, Emily, look how much younger you are and you're not sleeping well. So you cannot rebuild and repair your body at a good pace. And protein is when that is absorbed, and that's when it rebuilds and repairs the body. So, do you need 5 hours, 7 hours, 9 hours? It's not even that so much, as long as you wake up. Here's the barometer. You wake up and you're like, hey, I'm feeling good. I got energy. I'm happy. I got a great outlook. I feel rested, right? And some people could do it on 5 hours. Some people could do it on 8 hours, right? I do it on 6 hours. I feel fantastic.
Oh, wow.
So it all depends how you feel, but rest time is the most important to rebuild your immune system, right? The second R, number two, is to release the toxins. So what do we mean by that? Every medical doctor will tell you that there are 5 elimination organs to get rid of toxins. So your kidneys, your colon, your lungs, your skin, your liver is actually a filtration organ, right? But those are the ways your body gets rid of toxins. On a cellular level, it happens every single day to every single blood cell, which is normal. That's the way the body is made. The challenge that I have, and I disagree with the medical doctors, is they say, oh, you don't need to detox because your body's doing it normally all day long. And I'm like, sure, if you're living in that bubble, which I said earlier, there's no such thing. So all the pollution, the air pollution, the stress of everything that we're going through builds up on our body, and we cannot let go enough of those toxins. So what happens? It has to store somewhere to protect our major organs, our heart, our brain, our pancreas, our spleen has to be protected. Guess where it goes? Guess where it goes, you guys, when it's trying to protect your body? Where do you think toxins in your body are stored? You tell me.
Fat.
What do you think? Huh?
Fat?
Exactly. Bingo. A+. So it goes in the fat. So the more fat you have, the more toxins you're holding on to. Okay, that's like a thumbs down now. So it's like, dog, okay. Which is why weight loss is not so much the issue. It's that we don't want to store that extra toxins in our fat, right? A little fat is fine. It's not a problem. 10, 20 pounds, not a problem. But it's when it starts getting to 50 pounds, 80 pounds, now we got problems, right? So that needs to be released on a regular basis. So I teach that, if you're going to release toxins, sweating is wonderful. So when you walk, I just went for my walk right before this interview. It's like, I'm sweating. I'm getting rid of all those toxins to the skin because it's the fastest way to release toxins. You can have a detox bath where you're just laying in the water, add a little bit of lavender oil, and next thing you know, you're sweating out the toxins. There's so many different ways to release them, but the point is you got to release them a little bit every day. And the last R is emotional, mental, spiritual rebalancing. So rebalancing means if you're happy today and you're at peace, your anxiety level is very even keeled, you're full of gratitude, you're balanced. Okay, that's a good thing. But throughout the day, are we like that all the time? No, not even me. No. It's like this. You get a bad phone call, or you get an ugly customer. Something happens that skyrockets our mental emotional well-being. Why is that important? If you are not happy and if you're not at peace to keep yourself balanced, it actually turns your stress level in your body to an acid state. So in the body, there's a pH. There's acid, there's alkaline, right? And when you're in a healing mode, you want it more alkaline. But when you are in an upset and high anxiety, depression, anger, all these negative emotions, it actually makes your body very, very acid. Right. And so we don't want that. We want it in a happy, joyous place. So that means, going for a walk and taking time for yourself, all those things. But to try to maintain that so your body is able to be in that balanced state pH wise so that your immune system stays on top. That's the key.
Good. Well, I don't want to run out of time and you not tell us how to get a hold of you. So can you please tell us how we can touch base with you? One of our listeners or viewers wants to get involved. How do they do that?
Yeah, so the number one way is look up my name. I'm literally all over the internet. I have videos. I have like 500 videos everywhere talking about all this stuff. Name Judy Seegar Detox. And that is my website, judyseegardetox.com. They could look me up. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on everything. And I have a good old time. So yeah, they could contact me. I take the phone. People could call me, email me. But my name and information is all over the website. And the free gift, of course, is 21 easy ways, emphasis on easy, ways to start and stay on your detox. So that will be for your listeners, viewers, free for them to download. So they could figure out, oh, here's 21 ways to do this little detox thing. Okay, great. Let's do that.
So now COVID obviously is a situation right now for the entire human population, apparently. What advice can you give to our speakers, directly to our speakers, about COVID and how to prevent it, or if they've had it, how to have it not reoccur if that's still in? Because I have heard some stories that has reoccurred in some people. Or just address the whole COVID piece right now, because we're in such a dynamic with that.
Yeah, and it's really tough because, like I said earlier, people's immune system is so down and so suppressed by so many things and stress in their lives that when something like this happens, they're the first ones to get it. And it's sad. It's just the immune system goes down and there it is, right? So, I cannot say out and out, here's what I would do, because there's just a lot of political things happening right now to us as alternative practitioners. But here's what I say, no matter what the disease, and I think your listeners and viewers will be able to read between the lines on this, is anything and everything you can do for your immune system is key. So that means taking your time eating good food 3 times a day, really making sure you're eating food, making sure that you're doing something to detox your body on a regular basis. That will be in that free gift for everybody. And then the third part is really not getting caught up in the negativity of the media, right? So yes, they could take extra vitamin C and people could do the ozone therapy. There's many, many things that could be done to get the immune system strong. But if you are fearful and worried and anxious about it, I will tell you that that'll wipe you out more than anything. So be careful with that more than anything. Those are my 3 R's. That's what I follow. I haven't had COVID. I haven't had any issues with it. A lot of my colleagues are, because they're not practicing that restful state and getting back into that emotional, mental, spiritual, positive balance. So it's so important that everybody understands that and just stay away from the negativity and do what you can to protect yourself. So for me, it's not about, well, do I have to wear the mask? It's not even that. That's so controversial, right? It's like, oh my gosh, do you wear it? Do you not wear it? What's the deal? It's not about that. It's your immune system. Take care of what's inside of you by doing the foods and the therapies and the things that will make you happy on a daily basis. That's powerful right there.
Very good. Now, a couple of times you brought up a spot about how one thinks. And there's a whole field called positive psychology, an empirically proven field of positive psychology. Can you explain to our viewers how our thinking can actually create the dynamic of health or illness?
Yeah, so there is a pH chart that is used in science to measure your acid and alkalinity, right? So foods that are acid, and I'll get to that in a minute, you'll see where I'm going with this. So foods that are acid are your sugar, your salt, your white flour, your fried food, processed foods, alcohol. All those things are on the acid side of the scale, right? And in the middle, about the 7.2, 7.3 is optimal, is what you're shooting for. And then you have the alkaline foods, which of course are your vegetables and your fruits and your grains and your meats, all that kind of stuff. Well, it's the same thing with the positivity in your mind. If you are constantly in that side of the scale where you're not being thankful, you're not being grateful, you're not feeling the blessings of life, or like you got to wake up and say, whoa, blue sky, like I'm looking out my window, it's like, oh my gosh, blue skies, white clouds, I can see them, I can smell outside. You got to be grateful for the little tiny things and work your way up. That immediately flips it around in your body to make it more alkaline. It has to be that small, that simple. Now, I work a lot with cancer people, and people with cancer and Lyme disease are afraid of dying. And so they're caught up in that anxiety. So what I've learned in my 30 years of doing this is like, you know what? Why don't you write it down and then put it on your mirror? I am thankful for. So I used to do that in my lipstick. I know you don't have a lipstick, Chris, but just pretend. So you don't have to use shaving cream or something. But I would tell the women, put it with lipstick and say, I am thankful for, I am grateful for. And you read it every single day, looking at the mirror and say, I am grateful that I have 2 eyes today. I am grateful I have a nose. I'm grateful I have hair. If I don't have hair, I'm grateful I have a right shoulder. You figure something out. It's only one thing, you just pick one thing and you say it every single day. And every time you go in the bathroom. Now, I had one woman who had thyroid cancer. She was 73 years old, one of my first thyroid cancers ever, never forget her. And she had a massive tumor in her neck. And so we were doing a whole regime with her, and yes, she was worried, but she really believed that her healing was for her. So she put Bible verses all over the house, and then she would sing and dance all over the house and out loud. And it's true. What you say out loud eventually goes in your ears, goes in your brains, goes in your heart. And next thing you know, you're believing that you are going to be healed. That changes your pH and makes it more alkaline, right? It really works on a physiological basis, but you have to write it. I've never seen, some people use podcasts and that's great audio, visual, but when you actually write it out, that phrase, that wording that shows that, yeah, I am thankful for, makes a huge difference. It just helps to make that switch to the positivity.
What about mental imaging also? I mean, imagining where you want to be, it's kind of, that goes hand in fist kind of, or hand in glove kind of in speaking into your future, doesn't it?
Let me ask you this, because you're a guy and you're perfect example for this. If you were struggling, let's say with chronic fatigue, and you were told to have a positive mental image of what it would feel like to be out there running or biking or, just being athletic and fit, can you mentally envision that in your brain?
For about 5 seconds, maybe.
Exactly.
And then it dissipates.
Yeah, see, and I love the honesty, right? Exactly. And it is. It's very, very difficult. Does it work for people going through their chronic stuff, cancer and all that stuff? Yes. And I have seen it, but it takes a tremendous amount of discipline. So what works then is you get accountability buddies who remind you every day, right? You listen to podcasts, you watch videos, you are writing it down. Like it has to be like a job. I tell them from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, you got to be saying out loud, you got to envision it. And they have to have your why. Why do you want to get well? What is your purpose? If just for the grandkids? No, come on. Like, you got purpose, man. Let's get you going on that, right? that's the difference. When you know, like you're doing this podcast, Chris, is so exciting. You're going to be reaching millions of people all over the world. I know. So that vision keeps you on track. That's your why. Now you're on right track. See, that's how that works.
One last very short question. We're almost out of time, but you brought up a group dynamic just then where there's support groups. How does that fit in?
Yeah, support groups with chronic fatigue are a little bit tricky. It's really, really good if you get a positive support group. I tell people to create their own because I notice on Facebook, I get kicked out a lot. They're very negative. It's just like, why are you kicking me out? I'm trying to help you people. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, yes, I do. I've been in this 30 years. I sure do know what I'm talking about. And it's worked on me and it's worked on thousands of people, but they're running out of fear. So what I tell people, and I teach them, when I work with people one-on-one, it's like, let's create a positive team around you. And some of them don't have it. So I have health coaches I work with, and we create a little hub, where they feel supported and positive and know that they're on the right track for accountability. And that's as easy as it gets.
Outstanding. Give us your contact information and that free gift.
Yeah, you bet. So it's JudySeegarDetox.com is the name of the website. You could just type in Judy Seegar. I'll come up all over the place. And then the free gift that they could download is 21 easy ways to start detoxing and stay detoxing. And that free gift is for everybody who contacts me and signs up, and we'll get it to them.
Outstanding. Dr. Seegar, will you come back and visit us again?
Sure, you bet. I would love to have a good time with you guys.
This has just been wonderful. We didn't even get into gut or leaky gut or any of that stuff.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole other, so we'll do that. So we want to thank our guest for speaking with us today, Dr. Seegar. We already went through how to contact you. Now, please, folks, go get the free gift. It's free. It's all for you, and it is very valuable. So don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Transitions Podcast, and visit our website to subscribe to updates at transitionspodcast7.com. And you can always email us questions or feedback at transitionspodcast7@gmail.com. And please contribute to our host, WYTV7.org. That's WYTV7.org. Thank you, folks. We will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.